In 490 BC, Persia had already conquered half the known world, and now it had reached the doorstep of Greece. Across the Aegean Sea, a mighty Persian fleet appeared. Hundreds of ships, 30,000 warriors. As the fleet neared the Greek shores, the nearest city-state strong enough to resist it was Athens. But Athens knew it could not face Persia alone. It needed Greece's greatest warriors, Sparta. So a runner was sent, Phidippides. He ran nearly 150 miles across mountains and rock to beg for help. Sparta wanted to come, but sacred law held its army in place, and they would not arrive in time. So Athens would stand alone. 10,000 Athenians marched out to meet Persia on the shores of Marathon, a tiny force, outnumbered 3 to 1. For days, the armies watched each other. Neither side moved. The Greek line stretched nearly a mile across the plain. Its center stretched thin with their most elite soldiers to hold the Persian advance. And on the flanks, Athens placed greater numbers of less experienced troops. The Persians had expected fear. Instead, the Greeks charged. They ran straight into Persian arrows, bronze shields locked, spears lowered. When the lines collided, vicious fighting broke out, but with the Athenian center holding firm, the Persian flanks slowly began to break, and the Greeks closed in around them. The Persian army broke and ran for its ships. The greatest empire on earth had been beaten back by men who refused to surrender their freedom. Legend says the runner returned to Athens carrying the news of victory. When he reached the city, he spoke the words, "We have won," then collapsed and died. That run became the inspiration for today's modern marathon. And, although defeated that day, Persia was not finished. Soon, it would return with vengeance.
The real story of the 300 Spartans. In 490 BC, Persia attempted to invade Greece, but was crushed at the Battle of Marathon. So 10 years later, it returned with a vengeance. Led by Xerxes, with an army historians estimate at 300,000 men, the largest force Greece had ever seen. The Greek city-states faced a choice: unite or fall. But they needed time, so they chose Thermopylae, a narrow pass between mountain and sea, the only road into Greece, a place where numbers meant nothing. Sparta, leading the defense, consulted the Oracle of Delphi. Her warning was clear: a king must die, or Sparta would fall. So King Leonidas chose his fate. He took 300 Spartans, elite veterans, joined by around 7,000 Greeks, and marched to the pass. When Xerxes arrived, he looked upon the Greeks and laughed. They were too few. So he sent an emissary. "Lay down your weapons," Leonidas answered. "Come and take them." The Persian warned, "Our arrows will blot out the sun." And a Spartan, Deinechus, answered, "Then we will fight in the shade." So the battle began. Wave after wave crashed into the Greeks. The phalanx was unbreakable. For 2 days, Persia was slaughtered. Even the immortals, Persia's elite, failed to break the line. 10,000 Persians dead. Then everything changed. A traitor, Ephialtes, revealed a hidden path, a way behind the Greeks. Leonidas knew, so he made his choice. He sent most of the army home to carry the story. But the 300 Spartans stayed, and others who chose to die with them. They fought until their spears snapped, their swords broke, until all that remained was blood and bodies. Thermopylae was a defeat. Persia marched on. But something had changed. The story of Leonidas ignited a fire across Greece. The once rival city-states had finally united.